Oh, dot hack is 0. Okay. Sorry. Hey, middle-aged gamers! I am trying to fix my really poor memory by trying to remember what we're actually going to talk about today. But thank you, and sorry about last week. We had unfortunate circumstances, but as always, right? It is Chinese New Year, as you guys know, and if you've watched us for a few years, you would know things happen during Chinese New Year. So this week we are going to be talking about on Adam's side .hack Zero, Xbox, Phil Spencer, Asha Sharma, and all of that going on there. We'll probably have some interesting discussions. The shutdown of Bluepoint Studios, or just Bluepoint, Adam? Bluepoint Studios. Okay. On my side, I'll be talking about the best free RPG for PC because I guess that's what people were searching for. Um, and stay tuned for that segment. It will be done by Steam ratings. I'll be talking about the Avowed anniversary update. We finally got New Game Plus there. I'd love to get back into that. That's gonna be a very, very far-fetched wish, but we'll see. And lastly, if we have time, I'll talk about Solasta 2 and them implementing a really interesting D&D rule that's kind of cool, but I think is kind of a little bit complicated for regular people, but we'll see if we have time to talk about that. Lastly, as always, we'll be talking about, Adam's going to be answering a Reddit question. If you had to make a guide for a video game, what game would that be? And we'll be ranking Armored Cores from S to F. Um, Hopefully we'll get a little bit more lowdown on the scale this time, but I don't think so this time. There you go, your answer's right there. But still worth it. Stay tuned for the end. But Adam, tell us about .hack Zero. Very cool. I did not realize there was a relation to Sword Art Online because I mean, not like I watched. Yeah, like I mean, I've heard of Sword Art Online, and that was the only thing. I think like quite a few years ago, I remember Hans was playing it, or like a bunch of Asian people or Taiwanese people I knew were playing Sword Art Online, on Steam. And I was like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. And then there was, of course, Netflix got the anime, which was on Netflix at some point. It's no longer on Netflix right now, or at least Netflix in Taiwan. Um, but cool, yeah, more RPGs. I mean, more worlds with established history. That's always a good thing. Wow. .GU. I mean, that's like for a remaster, 2,244 positive reviews on Steam. That's pretty good.
There we go. Thank you for that, Noble Cooper. And apparently he's not showing up in chat, which is super annoying.
No
But
worries.
yeah, but anyway, but yeah, it's where was I? Oh yeah. Going back to, if you go back and play it, like for example, there's just like one attack button, and it's just kind of the attack animation and super basic, and there's no parrying, there's no dodging, there's none of that. So it's oh yeah, and he's even got my little cactuar out there. Um, but uh, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. Absolutely love Dot Hack. It's a great franchise. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And with that, I'm moving on to Warframe. And I've talked about Warframe over the years of this show for quite a few times. Um, but I was looking through Steam. I'm like, okay, what is the best RPG that you can play for free? And I was like, what is like, and when I think of RPGs, I think of like Diablo, I think of a JRPG, and Where Winds Meet, of course, right? It's a great choice, but I think it's also like when I was playing Where Winds Meet and I started playing, I'm like, okay, there's nothing that sort of like brings me in here, even as someone who's lived in Taiwan, who speaks a fair amount of Chinese, who understands some Chinese culture, Taiwanese culture, that sort of stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. This is interesting. But I would say Wolfram is still the better choice. And you can see that, I mean, almost. I mean, but Wolfram's been around for since 2013, and it has like 280,000 reviews. I'm like, okay, probably this is the better choice. So what I'm going to answer the question today is like, what is Wolfram like in 2026? And this is just based on what other people have said. And I can sort of agree with this, as I've sort of, the last time I think I played this would have been 2021 or 2022, if I remember correctly. Um, but basically, it's the big thing you always worry when you're going into a big multiplayer online game is like, how do I catch up? Can I catch up? What did I miss over the last few years? And what a lot of people on Reddit agree is that no, actually, the new player experience is amazing. So you can start Warframe in 2026, and it's still like depending when content comes out, right? Like with any online game, it's like there's going to be weeks where like everybody's online and you're going to get 70,000 active players, right? And there's going to be weeks where it's 20,000 people are online. So that's something to take into account. Basically, you're going to go through the new player experience. You're going to join a clan because there's a bunch of weapons and stuff that if you want to get it without paying real money, you have to be part of a clan to craft it. But it's and there's no like fixed classes, right? Like everything's done by Warframes, 64 Warframes at the moment. People always discuss like what is the 100th Warframe gonna be. So it's still a fantastic game, right? Warframe is also another cool word that somebody put on Reddit, which is it's a collectathon. It's about collecting all the mods, about collecting all the Warframes. It's about collecting all the various components and stuff you have. All that you have of so many pets, like robots and little dog-like things and little cat-like things, right? So it's doing all of that. It's playing with your friends or it's playing solo. One thing I could not find, the reason I stopped playing way back in the day was that it's very difficult to run in-game content on your own unless you put a huge amount of time into the game. And I'm talking a huge amount of time. We're talking 60, 70 hours per week in order to make like the ultimate Warframe build where you like the overpowered Henry Cavill Superman, for lack of a better expression, right? But no, if you're looking for a free RPG and you're not sure about what to choose, do you choose Where Winds Meet? Do you choose Warframe? Again, it just depends on your perspective. My choice or my suggestion would be Warframe because there's so much of content. You could start Warframe today and you could play for 15, 20 hours a week, even longer, and you'd never catch up with all the content until 2027 for sure. So great choice if you're looking for the best RPG for your PC, for your console, for your phone. Warframe just launched on Android. It was supposed to launch on Android, but it was delayed because there was a bug in something. But yeah, pretty much you can play Warframe anywhere, Switch One as well. And it's a great choice. You don't have to spend real money. There's nothing gated beyond some really beautiful cosmetics. That's it. All the weapons, all the Warframes, all the gear is doable. Some might require a lot of grinding, but yes, you can get it. So Warframe 2026, pretty good choice, I think. Let me know down in the comments.
Yeah, I think I was about to say like where you're playing is a consideration because if you're a mobile player, then you're not gonna be able to play it. But apparently they're making a mobile version of it, so that's interesting.
It's out on iOS already, so it's just the only
okay.
place it's not out. It's coming out, supposed to be next month, is Android.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't played Warframe in since it was in closed beta, I think. Yeah, I downloaded it once for PlayStation and then played like a couple minutes and then I don't know. I didn't continue, but yeah, I remember it being a like the time sink with the whole. Okay, you're gonna build something. You have to go through, get all the materials. Then after you get all the materials, you have to construct it, and then you have to wait like 80 hours for certain things. And I'm like, oh my god.
2 days, I remember, for certain Warframes when you're building it. Yep. A lot of that stuff that's a good point as well. And like even Soulframe, if you don't want to spend real money to sort of hurry up your build, yeah, you're waiting like 12 hours for a weapon, the equivalent of a day for like a Soulframe. So yeah, that's a thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that always kind of got I always had mixed feelings about timers like that. Because to me it always kind of reminds me of like energy systems in mobile games where it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, if you want to continue playing, then you have to pay money to up your energy, or you can just wait. And it's kind of like doesn't really fit my style of play. Because I remember when I was playing in Duality, that was one thing where it's like, okay, we have build timers and you can only build so many things at a time, and it's like, okay, this just feels like artificial padding because I'm spending so much time trying to find the resources to build these things that either the time doesn't matter because by the time I find the resources to build a second one, the first one's long since done, or it's really, really long and it's like, okay, I got what I needed. Now I guess I just stop playing, come back tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. It always just felt like a weird system to me.
No, I agree with you, but I argue the other side of this is that I found, and even still, like Zona, my partner, and I, we started playing this new game called Garden Horizons, and if you're a Roblox gamer, there was a game on Roblox which had 2 million active players at one point, and there was a whole argument between the person who made it was a 16-year-old kid. He sold it to this development studio in New Zealand. They built the game up, and then but he still had a controlling interest. And one day he came back, not one day, like a few months ago, he was like, I want my game back. And the developers were like, well, do you have a team in place to continue to develop this game, to help out with the community? Do you have any systems? I mean, because the kid, I think he made the game when he was 16 and he's 18 now. And so he's like, no, but I want my game back. And so he got the game back. And the other guys, the old development studio from New Zealand, like, okay, this is not us anymore. And the game went downhill. So like, for example, they have like from a high of 2 million players, they're at 30,000 players at the moment. Lots of anger and complaints and stuff. And but anyway, the point of what I was going to say is that I think a lot of games suffer from the fact that like people like blaze through content, and not even a lot of people. I would say a minority of players do. But when they blaze through it, they are like, "Hey, I'm bored. This game sucks." And then it's that old adage. My dad used to say this all the time, or maybe it's not even my dad. It's like people, our father's generation used to say this, like one negative review goes to 10 people. Only one good thing said about something only goes to one person, right? I'm sure there was probably a better English way of saying that, but it's I've lived in Taiwan too long. So I think the problem, like timers is the lesser of two evils, I kind of feel like, in the Warframe, Soulframe sense. Whereas like if you let everyone build everything instantaneously, they're gonna blaze through content and then it'll be done. Then it'll be the ones complaining in forums, complaining on Reddit. If you try and slow people down, I think that's sort of save things, maybe, but they could still complain anyway. I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, no, I get that. The time gating thing, same thing happens in Final Fantasy 14, where they'll release a new whatever patch or whatever, and people will burn through the like they released the island sanctuary thing, and you could do that, and people just kind of like burn through it in a week or something like that, or they'll release some sort of new content and they're like, oh, this will take people a month, and it takes people 2 days, because they're crowdsourcing, and our brain power just goes straight up through the roof when we work in groups. But yeah, and then and so it's kind of like, so I get that idea that like, oh yeah, the content can't keep up with it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me to be like, I'm gonna artificially slow you down, because yeah, I don't know. It just, I mean, yeah. Like in some cases, I kind of get it. Like for instance, in Final Fantasy 14, what they do is they say, if we release a new dungeon, or no, not a new dungeon, if we release new trials, which are these boss fights, you can only get one item per boss per week. And so if you want to, and then you have to turn these items in to get gear. So you're like, okay, if I want new boots, I need 4. So if there's 4 bosses, you can get you can get one piece of gear, or maybe 2 pieces of gear, depending on which piece of gear it is. You could get 1 set of boots, or you could get you could get 1 set of pants, or you could get a set of boots and a set of gloves. So you're very limited in what you can do. So you kind of have to come back week after week after week. That one I kind of get. But yeah, I don't know. Like when you're like, okay, I've gotten all these crafting materials. It's taken me, because that's the kind of the thing, is it's taken me so long to get these crafting materials that the extra wait is just kind of like, okay, well now what do I do while I wait? Because I mean, like when I'm trying to get the material, I'm playing, because I'm going through. I'm like, let me find the material. Okay, I didn't get in that dungeon. Let me play this other dungeon. I'm playing the game to do it. But then when it's like, okay, I'm crafting it now, it's on a timer. Now what do I do? Well, I just wait, and that's basically all I can do. I mean, I could continue playing the game and getting more materials or something like that, maybe, if those aren't time locked. But yeah, it's just kind of like I spent all this time trying to get this thing, and now I just feel like, yeah, because I mean, the thing is you're like, I have unlocked this thing. I want to play with it. I'm super excited, but it's like, oh, okay, now I can just do what I've been doing while I wait.
No, no, dude, and I totally agree with you there. Like I think back to times where like, oh my God, I can finally make this Warframe back in the day. Um, and then I'm like, oh damn, I have to come back on Thursday to use this Warframe. Or so I think that there definitely needs to be like other things. There needs to be a variety of things, and that's what Soulframe is suffering from at the moment. Is like, what do we do, right? Like what do we do? Like we're making this thing, and what do we do in the meantime? It's just like you said, like going out harvesting more materials. Oh my God, I've just been doing that for the last 3 days. Want me to do more of that? No, thank you.
Yeah, I know there's probably a lot of people who disagree with me, but I would say like I would prefer RNG in a sense, you know, because it's like then I'm like, okay, I'm working towards a goal and it's frustrating, but I'm doing something, I'm doing actively doing something, as opposed to like, okay, now I've got all my stuff, great, let's craft it. Oh, 48 hours. Okay, now I'm just gonna sit here twiddling my thumbs.
Very
Like
good
that's the
point.
next stage, right? Like previous steps are like do this, do this, do this, do this, and then you reach this stage where it's like do nothing, just wait. And yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, like I can go out and play the game, but I'm not feel like I'm making any progress toward right now. I feel like I'm burning time. I think for me, that's what it is.
No, 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 no. I mean, 100%. This we talked about, and you know, like the feeling having like you guys would be shocked. Adam only played 3 hours of games in the whole of last week. That's pretty terrible, right? So he understands the pain. I mean, I used to. I mean, like he was still didn't really play that much even before his current situation. But anyway, we should jump on talk about Xbox. Tell us about what happened for those of the middle-aged gamers who were busy with work and life the last few
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, Xbox is in a very interesting place. So Phil Spencer is retiring, which is I mean surprising. He's been with the company what they say 28 years or something like that. Or no, he's been president of Xbox for 20 something years. He's been with Microsoft since 1988, which I didn't realize he'd been there that long. He started as an intern and worked his way up. Isn't that a blast from the past that you could actually start as an intern and work your way up to CEO? That never happens anymore. But yeah, he started as an intern, worked his way up to CEO. You know, he's the fairy tale right there. But he felt it was time to step down and I guess enjoy his life, which he seems pretty young for retiring. But I mean, you know, if you've got that much money, hey, you know, enjoy it, right? So more power to him. He's retiring. Sarah Bond is also leaving. She was the vice president of Xbox, or the gaming division. I honestly not quite sure. But she's also leaving. She said it was just time. She makes six figures just being on the board of was it Tyson Food or something like that. So it's like she's not hurting for money, right? Though many suspect the reason she's leaving is not because she just feels like it's time. It's because she felt she should have gotten Spencer's position and wasn't given it. Instead, that was given to Asha Sharma, who not quite sure what she did, but something with AI, right? She was part of the AI division before. So we're losing the two tops of Xbox. I mean, Matt Booty's still around, I guess, but he's more of what Microsoft Gaming Division, not Xbox specifically. But yeah, so Asha Sharma is coming in, and a lot of people were like, this feels suspicious. This is an AI person coming in to run Xbox. What does she have to do with gaming? This isn't looking good. So to prove that to prove that Xbox is in good hands, she released her gamer tag and to show people like, hey, you know what? I'm a gamer just like you. You know, don't worry. You know, everybody knows Spencer's a gamer. I'm a gamer too. So then she released her gamer tag and immediately that backfired because people instantly found out that she has only had that gamer tag for about a month. So it is a month old and she already has player score of 10,000 over 10,000. So cue the Vegeta meme, you know, it's over 10,000. But yeah, which is a little suspicious for somebody who's only been playing for a month or only had this account for a month. I mean, if you're playing, you've probably been playing for longer, but why would you be at Xbox and then suddenly only now have an account? And how is it so high? And they found out that within that single month, she played 29 games, which means that she basically played a game a day, which, okay. So you telling me that you played a single game every single day for the last month, which is a little bit odd. Multiple achievements for different games on the same day. A lot of them are walking simulators, so like a short walk or something like that, which are fairly easy to get points in. But somebody did the math and they were like, yeah, she must have been playing these games. If you're looking at the time played to get these achievements and whatnot, she was playing like 43 hours a week, which if you're playing 43 hours a week, you're a month away of taking over a CEO position. How do you find the time, right? Like, so a lot of people think that maybe she wasn't the one playing, that maybe Microsoft basically just hired some people and they were like, hey, you know what, just play games. We just want you to build up this this account, put as many achievements in it as you can to make it look as authentic as possible. So a lot of people suspect that was what was happening, as kind of a last ditch effort to be like, hey, look, this person is completely qualified, give her some street cred there. So a lot of people are a little suspicious of this. Overall, what does this mean for Xbox? We don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, possibly better than mine. Let's be honest. We're going to have to wait and see. But a lot of people think that this might be, that her role might actually be to quietly sunset Xbox, not to pull it out. They came out and they said, we are recommitted to console. So what they're saying is, it sounds like they want to boost the Xbox console back up and they want to salvage it and they want to save it and put it in a good place. But faith in that is not great at the moment. Yeah. So that's basically the story.
Yeah, no, you summed it up. And yeah, it's so weird. Like, I remember, I think maybe it was like middle of last year, people were like, okay, Xbox is done. Like, we're not getting a new Xbox. And then Xbox came out and said, not immediately, they were like, actually, we have a new Xbox hardware. There was, I think, rumors came out with, like, from the AMD side, like, we're working on something for the next Xbox console. And then this happens, you're like, okay, then it's like, to me, it feels like a reversal of like, okay, maybe they are sunsetting Xbox. And I'm going to sneeze again.
Always a pleasure. It's a highlight of my day. Watch these Korean sneeze on live.
Allergies, man. But if you listen to some tech podcasts or tech finance podcasts, Microsoft had their latest earnings, and they were hit hard, even despite them making huge amounts of money from cloud. They were hit hard because they were not spending enough on AI. Apparently, this is what commenters said about their earnings when it came out last week or last week, something along those lines, right? Whereas Meta was like, okay, we're spending 270 billion this year on AI and data centers, that sort of stuff. Even though Meta earned good money from advertising, their stock went up. So coming back to Xbox, like, I don't know what is going on. I mean, I believe it makes more sense to sort of sunset Xbox, but then, like, when you're sunsetting this huge brand, like, what do you do with Xbox Live? What do you do with all the people who have Xboxes? What do you do with all the digital purchases? Like, Steam came out and said, hey, by the way, guys, we're shutting down Steam. And so you lose your entire digital collection, which would be just my games alone would be 300 and something on Steam. So, I mean, we've talked about digital ownership and stuff, and we've got other stories to talk about today, but, like, I guess it makes sense. Like, you bring someone in, and I guess I'll shoot this over to Adam. My guess is we will have Xbox sunset before 2030, and maybe not even before 2029, I would say. Like, I figure, like, yes, they'll probably release, no, I don't think they'll release another Xbox console, but they will start to sunset Xbox as a brand, or maybe just shift away from consoles and just make it into like a PC thing. Like, did you see the ad, Adam, about them Like I think Sarah Bond's last thing was like Xbox is everywhere. It was like Xbox on a laptop, Xbox on a phone, and I think maybe that's the shift away and how they shift away from the console market.
Yeah, no, I would assume even if they shipped away, yeah, 2030 sounds like. I mean, because that would be if they do one more console, it would release before 2030. So I would say by 2030, they're probably either this is their last console or there are no more consoles. I don't think there's going to be another two. There might be another one. I mean, if they're already in production and working on it, they might be like finish it off, right? But yeah, I would say by 2030, we probably have a pretty good idea of if they're going to continue or not, which is probably not. But I would be surprised if they're just like, we're just completely shutting down Xbox altogether. I mean, I don't think they're going to drop out of video games. I mean, they might say like, okay, we're shutting down Xbox, but Microsoft Gaming is continuing, right? I mean, they're still going to have Minecraft and Flight Simulator. I don't see them saying we're just going to stop video game. We're just going to go back to we're just Windows, and AI, I guess, and maybe some servers. But I don't see that. But I could see them saying like, okay, we're just going to be like another. We're going to go the way of Sega or Steam, and we're just going to be a publisher, or we're just going to be a platform on computer. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and I agree with you. Like, I mean, there's also like you take into account the Steam Deck, not Steam Deck. This what is that? The Steam Box,
The
new Steam Box.
GameCube.
Yeah, oh, we'll go with GameCube because I can't remember the real name of it. But, the GameCube, right, was supposed to be out this year, and they're like, actually, we're gonna delay it, and it's gonna cost a lot more because of the RAM, because of the storage. One of Taiwan's biggest storage companies, again, for those of you who don't know, like beyond your semiconductors, we make a lot of your storage here. And they were like, yeah, by the way, we've sold out of our storage for the whole of 2026. Done, gone. Like, if you want to buy a hard drive, you can't buy a hard drive from this company this year. So, I mean, making an Xbox another hardware, it just makes me think like maybe it is just there is not going to be another Xbox because even if you've already got it in production, right? Like your cost would have gone up 400% with the cost of RAM, with the cost of storage, not even to getting into line with TSMC here in Taiwan to say, oh, we need a 3 nanometer CPU. Oh, but all those CPUs are going for NVIDIA Blackwells for AI something, data centers in the States, data centers in space, like Elon Musk wants to launch a data center or a million data centers into space. So yeah, and I think we're probably gonna be in the of like no more Xbox console, but we'll slowly shift the brand away from us making our own games to just being a gaming studio that releases stuff on PC, on PlayStation.
Mm. Wouldn't a data center in space be a good idea? Just because cooling would be difficult?
That's what people were arguing about. Like how do you cool when there's no air in space? How do you cool because radiation is a huge issue? But apparently, the engineers at SpaceX have a way to sort of deal with that.
Okay, I only think about that because I remember playing Mass Effect, and it was one of the things that's if you go through the little like lore dossiers and whatnot, one of the things that they bring up is the fact that these engines create massive amounts of heat, and they're like, that's a huge problem because in space you can't cool anything. There's no medium to transfer it into, and so they would talk about how they would basically beam radiation off of the ship, where they're just like shooting off, yeah, like infrared and all that, all these light waves, you know. So they're cooling it by basically having the ship radiate energy out into space, but I'm like, yeah, we don't have that tech yet. That would be really hard to keep those things cool.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you just have to transfer the heat from one place to another.
Correct.
They should build more. They should build more data centers in like Canada and Alaska or Russia.
That makes sense.
Norway. all these northern countries, you guys need to capitalize on this and be like, let's build a bunch of data centers because we got cooling down.
But then you end up with the problem of like you must have seen like I think SpaceX did like a data center in Tennessee, like they built soundproof walls and stuff, but these people, like 1,000 people living close by the data center, not even that close, they're like this is constant humming around them.
Yeah, you go up north, like northern Canada, Alaska, you get a lot of empty space.
Sure.
You're not gonna have too many neighbors.
I mean, also true. But I think like the like, I don't know. I think you rather put it up in space where nobody's living.
I don't know. Maybe you could put it on the moon somehow and transfer heat into the moon.
That would be cool.
Like a reverse geothermal. Yeah. Instead of sucking heat out, we're pumping heat in.
That could work.
I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a lunar engineer. I would love to be. That would be a fun job, I think. But...
All right. My final story for today before we jump into probably do Adam's Reddit stuff and the ranking video next. But Avowed, I love the game. I think I played this in 2025 or 2024. My memory is pretty bad. But they finally came out with an anniversary update. So it is probably 2025 because it is an anniversary update. But so, you know, they did a bunch of updates to the game, and PC Gamer came up with a really cool article that I kind of agree and kind of disagree with. But like Avowed's really amazing now. The price point is at a place where it's affordable for what the game that you get. And they have all this extra content. So I disagree with the price. I think the price was fine before. I would have loved to have played it again, but there was a bunch of stuff missing when the game first came out. So between now and then, right, they had arachnophobia mode for people who are afraid of spiders, because there are some crazy freaky spiders in that game. Cooking and crafting improvements, unique weapons and armor. I felt like when I was playing the game, there were not enough bows for me for my build that I wanted to do. Magic was amazing when the game first came out, but like a lot of the other sort of paths that you could choose, I thought were not fully fleshed out, but apparently they are right now. So with the anniversary update, it's released on PlayStation 5, so a really great game, New Game Plus. Which I've never played a game on New Game Plus. I've always wanted to try it, and this was the game. I'm gonna do this on New Game Plus, because Crimson Desert is coming out in 3 weeks. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. They have new weapon types. You can change your appearance. You have a bunch of new characters presets as well. So in the original Avowed, there were no dwarves. Aumau, I don't know how to say that name. A-U-M-A-U-U-A. That's really complicated. A-U-M-A-U-A. I see Adam's thinking, okay, I will go with that. Orleans, so if you're a big Pillars of Eternity people, you probably know how to say that. I think I played Pillars of Eternity 1, and I felt it was a little bit too hard. I wasn't in the mood at the time, but yeah. New playable species, so really, really cool. Each of these species as well has their own, like, you know, Alma have +2 might, dwarves have +1 might, plus constitution, things like that. You've got, so this talks about New Game Plus as well. You keep all your unlocked abilities, all your spent attribute points, all your unique weapons and armor, but the unique weapons and armor reset to level 1, because in Avowed, right, you sort of level up your weapon. So the weapon you can get in the beginning, you can level that up right up until the end of the game, which is kind of cool for people who might like the look of a weapon or the way it fires or the way it sounds, that sort of stuff. And they just fixed this from when I read it the first time. So it said, originally it was like any equipped common weapons and armor items are kept, but they are reset to level 1. So now they say, all uncommon weapons and armor are removed at the start of New Game Plus. This is to provide the player a consistent experience regardless of what items they had in their inventory when they ended the game. So this is cool. So there's a bunch of cool stuff in the game. A lot of changes. Like this is about 5 pages of things that I could talk about, but I'm not going to talk about because that would take forever. They finally have a quarterstaff as well for that mage, battle mage, you know, using a staff to hit people and casting spells at the same time. I think when I wanted to do New Game Plus, I wanted to do the mage route as well, because there were so many options for magic in the game that I felt. And when you watch the original trailer for Avowed, But yeah, if you've got a PlayStation, and I know a lot of you do because you watch Adam, and Adam does a lot of PlayStation gaming. Avowed might be something to pick up. You know, we are probably about 3 months away from a PlayStation summer sale or a Steam summer sale. I still recommend this game. I had a huge amount of fun. Definitely replayable now with New Game Plus and the different races and a lot of the things they've added in terms of gear. This is going to be, again, one of those games where it's like, okay, I've made this choice. Now I get to do that choice. I think you could probably replay this twice to 3 times before you've sort of like done everything in the game. And again, this goes back to the other story of where like not Bethesda, Obsidian was like, we're not doing Outer Worlds 3, but Avowed still has something going on. So with the anniversary update, this might be an opportunity to sort of say, okay, they made an anniversary update, so we're probably getting an Avowed 2, given that the Outer Worlds didn't end up going where they wanted it to go. So maybe Avowed 2 will come out. I think there's a very small chance just because of unless we have a drastic shift in political climate worldwide, you know, more left-wing. Avowed was definitely too colorful for a lot of conservative people, I would say. A very different in definitely more liberal in the ones of relationships and the things, decisions you make and how the world is viewed, that sort of stuff. So I'm still hope. I'd love to play an Avowed 2, but we'll see what happens. Let me know if you're going to pick it up in the comments.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe someday. Wasn't a high priority. Crimson Desert's my next game, I think.
Crimson Desert is our next game.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll probably last me a good long while. Also,
so much stuff in the game. Like I keep seeing more things of like, oh, did you not notice these 15 things? I'm like, oh god, I still need to make us a video before the game comes out, and I downloaded all the footage.
There's gonna be so much in it. It's gonna be so much fun. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to it. I have high hopes. I'm optimistic and not like the cautiously optimistic. I'm just straight up optimistic about it. So looking forward.
I would say
to
I'm actually cautiously optimistic. I'm worried that there's too much in there, that it might be doing too much for the level of quality that a lot of people want, I should say.
Possible. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Also, Ghost of Tsushima Legends is coming at some point, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm trying to remember when that comes out. Not too far away, I don't think. I need to double check that, but very excited for Ghost of Tsushima. What am I saying? Ghost of 𝙖𝙬 Legends. I'm very, very excited.
You said Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and I was like,
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima Legends came out a long time ago. Ghost of 𝙖𝙬 Legends, I'm looking forward to. That'll be coming out pretty soon as well.
All right, Adam, let us rank Armored Core games.
All right.
All right, so just to remind everyone, we've done these. We're going to be doing these weekly. If you have any ideas for rankings or thoughts you want Adam to talk about, oh man, that would be cool. You rank video game personalities.
First, like characters?
Like no, like real people, like people who've been responsible, like a Phil Spencer or something. That would be terrible.
Oh, okay. Do I know that many people?
I mean, there's so many famous like video game personalities in the history of video games, right?
Peter
like,
Molyneux.
Yeah. They're all the Japanese guys for Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
The Mario guy.
I'll be honest, when it comes to the video game, like when it comes to like the Final Fantasy directors, they kind of blend together. Like if you're like, oh yeah, like I know Yoshi P, but the other ones like is it the three guys the three guys that are on I can't remember the names at the top of my head. If I read them I know them, but the three guys working on Final Fantasy 7 remake, I can't tell you which one's which.
See, you've mentioned them on the show before, but they're just literally gone in 1 year and out.
Yeah, like Hamaguchi, I think is one. Starts with an N. Can't remember it. But yeah. Yeah, if you were like here's the three guys, which one's which? I'd be like, no. Which one's responsible for writing Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, Kitase, that's one. Kitase. Nijima? I don't know.
All right. Just a reminder. So as usual, you're ranking from S to F.
This is gonna be
you said
so
at the beginning of the show,
biased.
nothing's gonna be an F. Nothing has been an F so far. But
No, you're definitely not gonna get an armor core that's an F.
I'm still wishful.
100%. It's never, well, not for this one. I can guarantee you right now.
So I'll give you a game. You can give me a rating. You know, S, A, B, C, D, E, F. You can talk about it a little bit. I think just to give you more time to talk, because some of these like videos have ended up being like 7 minutes of me cutting it down to like 2 or 3. I think I'll just go through the main lines. And if there is a franchise you'd like to talk about after we do all the main ones, or I shouldn't say franchise, an expansion you want to talk about, we can talk about that, of course, as well. I can squeeze that in there. All right, so starting off with the 1997 Armored Core.
Yes, this one personally still to date has my favorite level design. So,
Why?
And this one set the standards. What do you mean, why? There was a lot of verticality. There was a lot of the flying around, jumping on top of things, and you had some pretty diverse levels. You know, like fighting through giant buildings, fighting between buildings, fighting in sewers. This one had some great level design and set the standard for Armored Core. I mean, every Armored Core game I play is still compared to the first one, so S, easy.
All right, the year 2000 Armored Core 2.
Armored Core 2. Yeah, actually, I really. Okay, if I have to rank it, I'm gonna rank it S minus. I guess we'll put it in A, just because I did prefer the first one over the second one. Second one, gameplay is great, but I felt like the level design was not as good, and then the best levels were basically just copies from Armored Core 1.
Okay, Armored Core 3, 2002.
Armored Core 3 added orbital weapons and overboost. Or was overboost in the second one? Maybe. It added orbital weapons for sure. Another A. Yeah.
Okay. Then we jumping quite a few years ahead. 2006 Armored Core 4.
Armored Core 4 for me, I think if I had been my first Armored Core, I probably would have liked it more. I'm going to put that one as a C in terms of Armored Core, because for me it changed up the formula so much that I was like, oh, it doesn't feel like Armored Core anymore. It's all about speed and flying around and that sort of thing. And plus the level design was probably the blandest it's ever been.
Okay, again, jumping another 6 years, Armored Core 5 in 2012.
Armored Core 5, I'll put that at a B. It's not as good as the original trilogy, or it's not as good as the PS1, PS2 era. But personally, I felt like it was an improvement over 4, because it seemed to back it up a little bit. So, but you can't fly at all. You can just kind of jump, and you know what? Let's put it at a B. Yeah.
Okay, and the final one, 2023, jumping 11 years after Armored Core 5, Armored Core 6.
I give it an A. It's pretty close to the first ones. The level design was pretty good, not quite as good as the old ones. But the gameplay, I felt that it focused way too much on stagger in boss fights. So whereas in the original game you had some boss fights, but there was a pretty good mix-up of we're gonna fight a boss, or we're gonna fight another AC, or we're gonna just go through and complete a mission. Armored Core 6, I felt like really doubled down on there's got to be a boss at the end of every mission, which kind of felt less like a mercenary type game to me. So, A.
All right, and then any expansion you'd like to sort of rate, or any final thoughts on the franchise you want to add?
Not really. Nexus is another one that I really enjoyed, which is a bit unfair, because Nexus was the game that gave us the standard FPS controls with the analog sticks, look up, look down, strafe left, strafe right, which was a huge thing for Armored Core, because the older games, if it took a lot of getting used to control them. So Armored Core Nexus made that way more accessible. Also, though, Nexus was funny because it was basically a highlights reel of all the previous Armored Cores, where they're like, we're just going to pick the best levels and throw them together in this one game. So I feel like Nexus is kind of like a cheat, but I really like Nexus. I know a lot of people don't, but I really liked it.
So would you put that above the original Armored Core?
No.
Like S+?
No.
So this would be like an S- then?
Yeah, S minus A plus. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Very cool. All right, thank you as always. Last question for today.
I guess we could move Armor Core 5 to a B since nothing's at B. It just jumps out to C. All right. Yeah, I'm debating. Should I move Armor Core 5 down to a B or move Armor Core 4 up to a B? We'll move Armor Core 4 up to a B. There's nothing less than a B in the Armor Core franchise. Armor Core 4 is a B now.
Okay.
There's nothing below a B in Armored Core. Everything's good.
All right, and Reddit question for today. Before Adam answers, maybe you write down your comments if you're watching the live stream. But Adam, if you had to write a guide about a video game, which video game would you choose? This is from Agent1230, which is probably like an Apple name. I have one of those on Reddit. My answer is BioShock. I think I can make a nice, simple guide for someone who never played the game.
So the closest I ever got to actually doing one was I did start a spreadsheet for Freedom Wars so I could figure out where all the materials were and which missions to get them in. So I did kind of start that with Freedom Wars, never quite finished it. If I had to choose a game though, it would probably be either Valkyria Chronicles or Armored Core. With Valkyria Chronicles, you know, how to get an S rank on each mission, move which character when and where. Seems like it'd be pretty simple to do. Armored Core, the same, but also just getting into the nitty gritty on parts lists and synergies and that sort of thing. Seems like it'd be right up my alley.
Okay. Thank you very much, as always, Adam, for making time on your very, very tight schedule for the next 6 months. End of October, you'll be back. You'll be somewhat freer.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Oh.
All right. And as always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for checking out the videos. We had some interesting comments on Voyager and other stuff that's come out. Still lots of Besieged love. Oh man, yes. Did you check out that new trailer for Besieged?
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I will send that to you. That might be something for us to make content on, given the amount of people who keep watching the same Besieged video for the last 1.5 years on the channel.
It's always that one video too, and it's like this is the least exciting one, but it's just a little
48
crap.
hours, right? like if you're not a content creator, right? Like every single time you log into your dashboard, you see like these are the videos people watched, and the same video, it's making an Armored Core in Besieged, right? Like, yeah. And then we've always tried to put like, do people love Armored Core or do people love Besieged, or is it just this unique combo of both? And it's the same short. Like Adam did other Besieged videos, but this is the
with
only
Armored
one.
Core.
Yeah,
it's funny too because there's the complete video where it shows the completed finished thing running around. It's got the music. It's like an actual produced thing. The one that's popular is literally just a box with legs, and it's just like, I can move now. And it's like that's the most basic thing.
That is so like things that make you interested about content. Like this is one of those like unique blips in the radar of content creation. Like, oh, okay, cool. That's a signal. What kind of signal that is it not? Is anybody's question? We don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. For sure.
But anyway, thank you guys, and then we'll be back next week Tuesday, time permitting. But as always, right, no matter what, we'll figure out something just like what happened last week with Chinese New Year, where we had Adam just recorded videos on his own, which is always at least the baseline that you guys will get for middle-aged gaming. But as always, cool. Thank you guys. Comment down below. What do you want us to talk about next week? And we'll see you next time.